Hi, welcome back to the channel. So it is now the month of June, and if you've been in the writing community for any length of time, you'll know that the month of June brings back the Infostack product Write, Publish, Profit. This year we're at 5.0, and again, if you're keeping score, that would make this the 5th year that we're having this bundle. And what the Write, Publish, Profit is, if you're unfamiliar, is it's one of Infostack's bundles of the year. And Infostack, of course, their whole premise is they bring in courses and software and other tools that are designed toward a certain theme, whether it's marketing, SEO, in this case, writing. And the idea is you get a bunch of again, software and all that for the price of $49, which is comparative to the original price of $6,500. It's a pretty good deal. Now, the question might be, is this a no-brainer? And the answer is it depends, because the thing with these kinds of Infostack deals is not everything here is permanent, meaning there are some lifetime deals, but not everything is a lifetime. And so a lot of the decision you want to make whether or not to even invest in this is to decide how much time you have to invest in the products you'll be getting, and also whether or not what you want is worth the $49 you'll be paying to get it. So that's what we're going to look at today. I did this last year for 4.0, so I'll link the video at the end here, or I'll put it in the show notes too if you want to go back and watch that video to see what's different about this stack versus last year's. And you'll find that there's a lot of repeat performers here. So if you're ever on the fence about whether you should get a product through the Infostack, especially one of those limited time ones, be aware that sometimes they come back. So you might be able to double up on some of your deals. So just keep that in mind. The last thing is you'll notice that there's a timer down here. This whole thing does end in 4 days. It runs for a week, and as usual, I wanted to get this video out to you a few days ago, but I've been very tired. I've had long work days and exhausting days, and these kinds of videos tend to run longer than my usual run, which is already over, I think, produced. So that said, again, sorry that I'm getting it this late, but it's better than last year, where last year I waited till the very last day. So you guys get 3 extra days with this one, so congratulations. Anyway, let's take a quick look at what this has to offer. If you are a subscriber to any of the people who participated in this event, you'll probably notice that they all have affiliate links. I would say if you're a subscriber to one of them, use their affiliate links, because it does give them a bit of a bonus, which is never a bad thing. I don't have affiliate links, so just by watching this video, you're not really making me richer. Same thing if you buy through the link I give you. It's just a normal link, but nevertheless, if you're interested, you should still check it out. So let's take a quick look at what this is. Now, bear in mind what this says. This deal ends on June 14th, and claim your bundle before that's before it's gone forever, not that you keep it forever. I wanted to just make that clear. You're not keeping everything forever. What I do like about this particular stack this year is that they've organized it in a sensible way. So if you can see the stats here if you're interested in that, but you'll notice that you have a series of monthlies, and we're going to pay closer attention to those, because the monthlies are the ones you want to take advantage of right away. Obviously, the ones you have for a lifetime, you can take your time with. But yeah, that's what I like about this particular setup this year, is they've actually given you a sensible organization to find out whether or not you want to start with something like this, or whatever you want to do. But the thing you want to pay attention to is this little button here where it says lifetime access. The top workbooks, the top courses, all that will be lifetime, and it's eventually going to go into yearly, monthly, and there's no weekly, fortunately. But nevertheless, when you're trying to make a plan for when you use things, that's one of your considerations, is how long you get to keep it. So that said, the lifetimes are going to be applicable to books and some courses. This here is a workbook. I don't really know the author or the book itself, but it does let you brainstorm ideas. I think if you're the kind of person who likes to write things down, this is certainly something you want to use to your advantage. Down here, 43 ways to make your book work for you. So uncover 43 powerful ways to leverage your book and build your business and grow your reach. Increase awareness to your brand and then attract new readers. and then it shows you how to price your book. So this is it looks like just a step-by-step method of how to get you to leverage your book. Probably nonfiction, if I'm guessing by the some of the keywords here. You'll notice it's a masterclass and it's online, so there will be an instruction here. It's not a book. It's just, hence the price. This is the kind of thing where I think if you're going to consider whether or not Infostack's Write Publish Profit is worth it to you, remember you're paying $49, and really the value comes into what the lifetime access items are. This is a $300 course that you can get for $49 and keep it forever. So if this is something that you are interested in, then this is definitely one reason why you should get the stack. Okay. Same thing down here. We got another masterclass for a lifetime, kickstarting your career. Learn the resources, habits, and skills you need to succeed as a writer. And then obviously you can kind of catch up to see what his credentials are. So here's a keyword. He's an award-winning international best-selling author with over 60 novels in print, so he's got credibility. One thing you always want to ask whenever you're investing in any course, even if it's part of a stack, is are you investing in people who have credibility, or are you investing in hacks? This guy has credibility, according to this bio. So if you are interested in kickstarting your career through writing, then yeah, there you go. There's a course you might want to take. Now let's see, this is the big premium course. They had this, I think, in last year's stack, and they might have it next year's for all I know, but this is I think the last time it came around, I think it was only a year long. I'm not sure. I have to go back and review, but anyway, this one you get for a lifetime, and this is the 6-Figure Authors Advanced Categories and Keyword Training. Oh, actually no, this might be a different course than one they had last year. I recognized the author. But yeah, if you want to learn how to maximize your keyword use, then this certainly is something you want to take a look at. You probably heard of that program called Publisher Rocket. Publisher Rocket is a program that lets you actually do the same thing. So if you have Publisher Rocket, then this course would probably be a good thing to use in tandem with that, because you can actually be able to put them together and make it work. So next we have Rock Self-Pub School. Then I guess that's just learn how to self-publish. And there's again, if you're in the writing circle, you probably heard of a premium course called Self-Publishing School, which is like the big $2,000 level course. This is not at that. This is, I don't know what this is, but I recognize the author's name. Typically, if I recognize the author's name, that means they've been around for a while and they've gone through the circuit, so it's probably fine. But yeah, this definitely has a lot of checklist items for you to consider. Great for new authors, including NaNoWriMos who are trying to finish a novel, or authors with a bit of experience who want to improve their craft and write more commercially. By the time you finish this brand new course, okay, so we've never seen it before, you'll have a solid plot for your novel, an outline for your first draft, a plan on how you're going to get the writing done, and a deeper understanding of craft and commercial fiction writing. Okay, so that sounds pretty useful. And again, this is one of your lifetimers for $400. You can get it for $50. And then you can get some bonus items too, 4+ hour-long interviews where best-selling authors go deep and share their craft tips. Just to kind of point of reference of that, these are all stories. Whenever you're watching an author give their testimonial, I mean, you're really listening to what their path was. Everybody's got a different path. Your path will not be theirs. So you can get inspired by these things, but don't expect to necessarily mimic exactly what they do, because they'll have different conditions, including the types of books they write. So again, these are good for inspiration, but I would be careful about adapting their exact principles. What you typically want to do when it comes to these kinds of courses is you want to take note of what the common consensus is among tips and tactics, and usually those are the ones you want to follow. Edge cases, they're edge cases for a reason. They may catch on eventually, so there's no reason why you shouldn't try them. They might work for you, but with any education, it's like it really comes down to how well you implement it and how well it works for your type of brand. So bear that in mind whenever you see these kinds of bonuses or even these kinds of courses. But yeah, Rock Self Pub School. It seems like a nice all-purpose course. Okay, so this is one I was actually waiting to get to. I've actually used this before, this Believe Plan Act platform by Kimberly Gravis. She's a very thorough instructor, but what this is this is a workbook. She updates it every year, so it'll be. I think it's in every Infostack, so I'm sure if you miss it this year, it'll be around next year. But here's the thing: she tries to tailor these workbooks so that they keep up with whatever year you're in. So what I've done for mine, I bought mine I think in 2016 or 17. I ended up printing the whole thing out and putting it in a binder, and then I never used it. And I never used it because I'm not the kind of person who really uses planners, to be honest. Like, I bought it because it was a good idea and because I figured, well, let me try it. But you have to really be in a situation where you can make use of the tips. And so this is where I wanted to kind of take a pause from just reading through what the courses are, because, I mean, let's be honest, you can read through these on your own. But what matters here is what the experiences are that you'll get and maybe what others have. And with this kind of tool, like, she gives you a teachable course that shows you how to use it. So for that alone, I think it's worth it too. But if you are the kind of person who has your platform, that you're in a position where you can start making it work, then this is absolutely worth your time, especially if you keep up with it. And you do have to make a plan to keep up with it. This is not one of those things where you just buy it and let it sit and hope you'll get back to it. It only works if you use it. Now, this comes back to one of my general complaints about these types of stack level deals, is that you're getting so much stuff to digest that it's pretty hard to really make good use of any one thing. It's sort of the jack of all trades method, where it doesn't matter, how many skills you have if they're all mediocre, right? So this is one of those things where if you can use it, I would recommend that you try. If you can't, that's fine. You can still find ways to make your business work, but I like this in particular because it does allow you to keep track of the items that you're doing, the items that work, and of course, you can plan out your entire year with this type of system for just, whether you go through Infostack $49 or by itself for $37. I think this in particular is worth having if you are, again, organized, unlike me, where I do things on a whim, including doing videos like this. Now, there's other. If you're not into workbooks, if you like software, there's software out there that'll help you do similar things. I just bought one off AppSumo about a week ago. I might review that at some point, although it won't be an AppSumo deal by the time I get there. But I do eventually want to do some videos on certain programs I use to make my life a little easier. But even with that, it's like, are you going to use it? That's the question. And whether you use it or not is what decides whether or not it's worth it. So that's something to consider there. But this is a good one, and I have used this before. I've bought it, I guess I should say, and I've liked what I found. All right, so Anthologies for Authors, another lifetime e-course from Ray Bream. I'm on his mailing list. It always goes to junk mail, even when I approve it. So I don't know what that's about. But he's a marketer who's got some pretty good insights. So I think he's somebody, whatever he's teaching is probably good. In this particular case, he's looking for something that we don't talk about very often is the bundling method. If you are an author who gets into a bundle with other authors and you sell your bundle for 99 cents on Amazon, you're not going to really get very much money out of that. Ideally it's like 1 cent per sale if you're doing a 30 book set here. He's basically trying to show you how to do that effectively, and I already know what the answer is going to be. Use it to leverage your audience. I'm sure it's going to come out to that. But anyway, this will show you how to do that effectively. And so if you if you get this bundle, you'll get this course, and you will, if you are interested in bundling with other authors, this is the sensible way of doing that. As usual, this means nothing unless you can actually get in with those other authors. So, there's Nick Stevenson has a thing called the Dream Team Network that I recommend if you can ever get that on a lifetime deal. If you don't, or if you don't mind spending the money on the annual, it's good. But I can probably show that video off. I didn't actually plan for that, so I'm not going to do that now. But Dream Team Network, they have their own app now where you can actually, what, I'm going to pause the video real quick and I'll just show that to you real fast just to show a difference what I'm talking about, because I think it's going to make more sense if I qualify the platform with this. So give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. So this here is the Dream Team Network. They used to be a Facebook group only, but now they have their own app, and it's a Nick Stevenson thing. But what they do is you can actually link with other authors in order to create different bundles and get in with different mailing lists. And it's just a good way to do giveaways and all that. And I'm not going to, for privacy's sake, I'm not going to go through all of this here. I just want to show you that if you have this in conjunction with the Ray Bream course, you can probably really get a lot more out of that system. So I just wanted to show you guys that just for point of reference. But we'll go ahead and go back to the stack since that's what matters here. But I thought that was important to show you guys that it's not about the knowledge, it's also about what do you have in your arsenal to help you make it easier on you. So keep that in mind. Anyway, let's move on. All right, so write your life story of a memoir online course. I guess if that's your thing, go ahead and do that. It's another lifetime. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't really, it's not my area. Blue Ocean positioning for authors. We're kind of getting near the bottom here because you'll see the price gaps are going down, but you're still in the e-course system here. So write a nonfiction book readers will want to buy, read, and share. Explore the proven process to map out a book that gives you an unfair advantage of your competitors by providing the foundation of your book's content, marketing, and method to stand out in the crowded market. So Blue Ocean positioning is for authors of all levels. It will help you, whether you have an idea or already published. So again, I don't know this author, so I'm not sure what credibility he has or what success he has, but you got your testimonials over here. We didn't really talk about the testimonials yet, but if you're ever uncertain whether or not there's a particular course you want to prioritize, again, you're getting all these, so it doesn't matter. Like, if no one course should be the deciding factor of whether or not you actually do the Infostack deal, but you can certainly decide which order to go based off of the testimonials. So if this is your preference, go ahead and start there. But remember, it's lifetime. You have any time to go back to it. It's not going to be the case with everything on here. So pace yourself. Beginner's Guide to Book Marketing on a Budget, another e-course. If you're an author who wants to sell more books but has a small market budget, this course will show you how to successfully market your books and keep the costs low. So I think that's pretty useful. As a person who has constantly struggled in the financial realm, and one of the reasons why I've delayed my author business per se for so long is I just didn't have the money to do it. I technically still don't, but again, I think you all know by now I buy a lot of lifetime deals in order to save on cost. So if you have with marketing, marketing is like a dynamic cost where it's just it goes off of the click, goes off the impression, the day, the platform, all that. There's many different factors that go involved. So clearly, if you're on a budget, you want to do your best to stick to it. So this sounds like a good course to learn how to do that. It doesn't mean it's the only course, and doesn't mean it's the best course, but it is a course that you're going to get in this bundle and keep for a lifetime. And again, if you look at the testimonial, you'll see that she founded a self-publishing, not the self-publishing school, but a self-publishing school. And then let's see what else. She's written for Mother Earth News. Anyway, you can see the testimonial. Again, it comes with the course, or it comes with the pack. It's worth looking into. Maybe you'll get some good tips. I can't comment on it because I haven't watched the videos, but they are there for you to check on, which is probably obvious. You have the author planning bundle, which is a workbook. So if you're into workbooks, what's nice about this stack is you're getting all the workbooks you're getting. You can pick up at any point. That said, workbooks are usually most effective when you go on a certain schedule or timeline with them. I would probably recommend you do this alongside of the one that the one I was hyping up earlier by Kimberly Gravis. I never remember what it's called. It's too complicated of a title, but the one where you're planning your platform. If you go alongside with this one, I think it would be a really good one to punch for getting you inspired to just actually do your business, in a sensible way. What I like about this here is it's actually showing you how to build a brand. One thing that, nonfiction writers, I think, have it easier because, you're building your concept, you're building your topic. Fiction writers have a harder time because they're trying to cater to the genre readers, to literary readers. while also telling a good story and giving readers a reason to come back to read more of their books. And it's even harder when you're someone like me who has multi-genre, where your audience is basically scattered, and it's hard to do marketing when you're all over the place, intellectually. Which I mean, honestly, we probably should just focus on one thing. It would be easier. But what I like about these kinds of tools is that they do give you an opportunity to see what your output would be, or what your potential would be for your type of work. And so the fact that you can have a section for fiction, I personally find useful. So I would say if you are the kind of person who is good at planning and keeping to the plan, then this too would make it worth it. Now, don't buy the whole bundle for just this, because you'll notice that there's a big price difference here between $16 and $49. Don't spend $49 to get a $16 item. Make sure you have at least one other thing that's worth more than $49 that would make this whole thing worth it. But that should be obvious, I hope. I never know anymore what's obvious. So I figure I'll just say it just to make sure it's clear. Here you have a $27 ebook that you're getting. Again, why are you charging $27 for an ebook? I'll never know. I'm not going to comment on that. Bestseller launch made simple. E-course for $48. So right here you have pretty much the same price as the entire bundle. So you could look at this as, I buy this bundle and I get all the others with it for free. But bestseller launch made simple. Again, I'm cool with these kinds of courses because they give you good insights. But I mean, you don't know if your book is going to be a bestseller. To claim that you're going to launch a bestseller, I mean, do you really know that? This is one of those things where, never mind the title, does it give you good concepts? So understand. I'm going to look at the check marks in here. Understand how to leverage America. Let me start over. Understand how to leverage Amazon's algorithm to do the heavy lifting of marketing for your book for you. Launch the book the right way. Elevate your brand as a best-selling author. Get your book to the bestseller badge with MC Estachio's bestseller launch made simple. What I would probably say as a qualification here is, again, this is the steps that could lead you to become a bestseller. Doesn't mean it will. So just, again, your book is not her book. Your brand is not her brand. Maybe she did this system to get her book to bestseller. Maybe others have done it too. You might make it work. That's part of the risk whenever you're investing in these kinds of courses, and even this type of bundle. You don't know what the payoff will be. It's all about crossing fingers and hoping, but doing the hard work to make sure that you give yourself the best chance. So I would advocate you probably will have a very good shot at becoming a bestseller by doing what she says. But you're never guaranteed it. So just bear that in mind, that never buy a course or even a bundle and on the promise that you'll become a bestseller. No one can promise you that, except maybe your readers. So just bear that in mind. This one is interesting because you'll notice they've capitalized edit. Write, Publish, Profit, that's the name of the bundle. And now they're adding edit to it. They're kind of giving you a little wink there. Hey, do you want to do more than just write, publish, and profit? You can edit too. And this e-course will teach you how to do that. Editing is a very important skill to have. I would say, again, and actually I recognize this author. I forget where I've seen her. She's somewhere important. I would say I probably would recommend the bundle on that. Actually, now I'm tempted to get it myself for this. The thing is with editing is, it's a skill that we all need to master regardless of what we're writing or why. If you can get good at editing, you can get good at publishing. You can get good at selling. Or you can even get good at marketing to other authors for their, you can become an editor for them. So learn the different levels of editing so you can achieve success via self-editing or professional services. Discover the different levels of editing so you can identify what you want and determine what kind of editorial help you need. Oh, okay. You know what? This isn't teaching you how to edit. It's teaching you how to find editors. Well, I guess it's doing a little bit of self-editing. I think they're always going to recommend you get an outside editor, and I would agree with that because, again, it's a different set of eyes and different set of skills going into your book. But in order to save money, you need to also learn how to self-edit so that you can give your best version to whatever editor you're going to submit to. And I think, again, that's sort of the point of what this course is teaching you how to find the right editor and also how to get your manuscript into the right condition in order to make yourself attractive to the editor, I think is the point. So I think that's worth it, especially for a lifetime. Again, if you're on the fence about whether you should buy this stack, I would say this is one of those courses that should tip you over, because I think you'll get a lot out of it. Again, I don't think it's going to teach you how to save, a ton of money, but I think it'll teach you how to save some. So, probably more than $149 worth. So I would say give it a look. From brain to book, package your expertise in book form. So this is another nonfiction bookmaker, but it's a masterclass. What's the difference between a masterclass and an e-course? I honestly couldn't tell you. I've always figured they're the same thing. So I guess it's a class taught by a master, but do we know that they're masters? Maybe. Again, I take these things with a grain of salt. I'm sure there's a big difference between them. I just couldn't tell you what that is. Sometimes I think it's in the marketing. The difference between an e-course and a masterclass, I think, is just in the branding. But it could also be in the level. Like, this might be an advanced level course against the master, whereas this might be a basic course. I don't know. I don't know how they're branding it. But based off of what the prompts are, a step-by-step process so you can take the material you have already created on a blog or podcast, I mean, it would assume to me that this is not for beginners, so I'm guessing the masterclass tag is for those who already have some experience and want to go higher. So that would be my guess. But again, I don't know. I'm just commenting, letting you know what's in here so you can decide whether for yourself it's something that you want. Self-publish like a pro. Got plenty of those, but here's another one. So it's e-course, $100. You can get for $49, plus a bunch of other stuff. You get a printable checklist for ultra easy execution, links to every relevant page. So it's going to give you a bit of a step-by-step as a kind of reminder of things you should do. Tips, steps to reach more readers, maximize your book sales, grow your audience, recommended publishing platforms. So this, to me, it sounds like this is kind of introductory. If you are new to self-publishing, if you're not sure where to begin, I would say probably begin here, because this will teach you how to get from nothing to something. Yeah, I mean, again, you could do your own self-research, but most of the time, the whole purpose of buying these courses is so you don't have to do the extra research, because they've done it for you. You just follow along their blueprint, and from that point on, you can kind of walk your way from having nothing to being published, and being published in a way that makes sense. So this is where I go into my sidebar and say a lot of us start off just publishing to Amazon or Smashwords or Drafted Digital. After we spend a month researching how to do it, we don't often research why we should or how to make it work for us. So one of the advantages of courses like this is that they're going to walk you through the process that you should be going is even before the publishing process starts, to make sure you're on the right foot and have the right foundation so that you don't have a bad launch, or so you don't waste your brand. And that's, I think, again, the magic being to these types of courses. It's an understanding why you should follow them, not necessarily what you're going to get out of them, but what makes them important. It's all about setting up your foundations. So anyway, roadmap to your best novel. Again, you have overlap here, and overlap's good. I don't want to knock the idea of, you've already learned all this stuff up here. You probably have, but we don't learn things very well the first time or the only time. Sometimes we need reruns in order for things to stick. So that's one of the things where if you just buy one course after another, or if you watch one course after another, you're going to see a lot of overlapping principles, and that's good because it solidifies in your brain that you need to do this. And so I would say if you watch this too. And then watch this, because this will teach you how to go from becoming okay, this one doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you go from an entrepreneur to author? Wouldn't you do it the other way around? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's an ebook. I'm not going to comment on ebooks. Amazon self-publisher. I do recognize this guy's name, I'll say that much, but it's an ebook. And you have ebooks forever. Another $27 ebook. Pages, platforms, book marketing. Yeah, anyway, you can read it if you want it. Okay, another e-course, easy fun newsletters for authors. Okay, so this is good because this is something that newsletters. This is where I am now in my process. I'm trying to learn more about how to make my newsletter work. If you can make your newsletter work for you, this is where the real money is in your platform. So something like this, I would definitely say this is I don't know who this author is. I don't know what the course is like, but the fact that they're tackling newsletters, I think is something that really makes this useful. If her principles are sound, then I would say definitely pay attention to what she says. And I only say that with an asterisk because, again, I don't know who this author is. I don't know how well she knows her topic, but she made it into the Infostack. I don't think you make it into the Infostack without having some traction or credibility. So the fact that you have this topic, I think, again, $49 instead of $60, I think it's worth it. And again, it's a lifetime, so you can always go back and review it if you like the principles. But I want to actually look at this one. So turn newsletter writing from dreaded chore to a fun chat. Many authors are overwhelmed by newsletter marketing, from setting up email newsletters to getting subscribers to figuring out what to say. It can feel like a paralyzing chore. Authors slog through because they know how important it is to stay in contact with readers. But email marketing doesn't have to be just a task on your to-do list. When done right, it can feel like an enjoyable chat you have with your readers. So when you develop the author-reader relationship and get to know what's working in your author business, you'll have more fun and sell more books. It says video course with worksheets will help you each step of the way to get your newsletter set up, to track subscribers, and plan your frequency for sending emails, plus what to include when you email, and then of course gain subscribers. So I don't know how good she is, but I think the topic is something we need to really take seriously, and so I would highly recommend investing in this if you are on the fence. Again, if you don't want this, don't do it. But if you're not sure if you should take it, this is one of those tipping point courses that I would say definitely go for it if you really want to get better. Okay, so we have an ebook on blogging. Actually, you know what? I have been kind of struggling the ebooks, but this one, again, I'm gonna look at this one only because blogging is something that there's a lot of mixed advice whether or not we should do it as writers. Because again, if our business is in our books, should we even put the time and effort into blogging? Well, I think platforms like Medium, in particular, or Substack, I think makes blogging monetizable, which means maybe we should learn how to do it. So when you talk about ways to blog and podcast as an author, expert, and a real person, it's an ebook. You can always go back and look at the principles. With ebooks, it's a little trickier because they're not going to tell you everything, and a lot of times they're going to just set you up for their own course. And I don't know if that's going to be the case here or not. But if they're giving you 105 ways to blog and podcast, this is one of those things where they'll probably just give you ideas. I don't know if they'll give you tactics or anything or instructional. But if you're struggling for reasons on why you should blog, this might be worth it to you. So that's typically when you get these big numbers like 105, you're usually getting checklists, which again, I don't know if it's worth $13. But fortunately, you don't have to worry about that because you're getting the $49 bundle that's coming with it. So you're basically getting it for free, free as in $49. But anyway, it's blogging is something that we probably want to not throw away. If you can learn how to do it well, then you should probably do that. Okay, so self-publisher, get an agent, how to find and implement your best path to publishing success. Now, this is a big one because this one here, this is the age-old question, do we traditionally publish or self-publish? 15 years ago, the answer was you get traditionally published. You get the agent because that was where the market was. Self-publishing had been out of vogue for many, many years, and 15 years ago, it wasn't really back in. I actually tried self-publishing for the first time in the mid-2000s, and I used Cafe Press to print my books, and ebooks weren't even a thing yet. It didn't go very well. It was one of those things where I actually kind of stopped doing it because I just didn't think the experience was worth it. So I had put all my investigation efforts into getting agents and all of that, and of course, I didn't move the needle there either because my books just weren't ready. But see, the thing is, like, I kind of feel bad because when the ebook boom started, I had missed it because I had already gotten the stigma that ebooks, that self-publishing ebooks was not the way to go. But if I had been less concerned about stigma and more concerned about just getting my work out there, I might have been in a better spot than I am now. I don't know. But the thing is, in 2022, we're asking that question. Should we self-publish or get an agent? I don't know who these people are, but I'm sure they've done their research. And the fact that they're US Today best-selling authors means that they probably know their topic. So if you're on the fence, if you're not sure which way you should go, then this might be one of your earlier courses to invest in your time, because it really is an important question to ask because it determines how you set up your platform. Now, that said, you should have a platform no matter which path you go, but I guess really the question is what kind of time do you devote into getting your book out there? If you self-publish, you don't. There's no gatekeeper. The idea is, can you get your audience to pay attention to you? Can you make sure that your product is good enough? What can you do to make sure that you're able to get sales? When you go through an agent, there's a lot of checks in the way that you're going to have to go through in order to make sure your product gets to readers. But your reach gets a lot bigger. So these are the questions that I'm sure they're going to address. But if you're unsure, that's definitely something I think you want to take a look at. How to write your novel. Very standard course. We actually had a lot of marketing courses, not a lot of how to write courses so far. So now we're kind of moving in that direction. If you're a beginner, if you don't know what to do, then you're getting a $500 course for a tenth of the cost. You need something. If you're fresh off the boat in terms of getting your message across or getting your idea down on paper, you really don't want to just do it. You need some guidance on how to do it properly. And the author book coach, I'm sure she knows what she's talking about. Go for it. Learn how to do it properly. There's no reason not to. So I would advocate, get the stack for this. Why not? Creative Academy, the Writer's Skill Toolkit from creation to publication. So provides an opportunity to learn from our experts in areas ranging from drafting to craft. So it's another overview on how to make sure you actually get something finished. This is a masterclass versus e-course. So this is going into things, mastery, sensory details to make your pages pop, find your keywords for publication. So it goes a little bit beyond the writing process and into the marketing process. I don't know if there's a difference in size, because there's definitely a difference in size of price. But if you're new to the whole publishing or even writing thing, goes back to what I said a little while ago, the overlap. You may get new principles here that you didn't get up here. So it's important, I think, to kind of track with that. So next we have reverse writing, back cover to bestseller ebook. Now, I actually previewed the topic here before I did the video. Basically, this author here found a new way to plot by going backwards. And this whole ebook is about showing you how to do it that way. The reason why I'm in favor of these kinds of books or these kinds of instructionals is that they do retrain the brain on how to do something that I think we've tuned out. The general practices start from the beginning, work your way to the end, and we've become so invested in that method that it gets almost redundant or repetitive, or it's easy to kind of overlook important things by way of being too used to the same methods. I like these different methods of where you do things in a new way, in an unexpected way, because it retrains your brain how to think. And when you do that, you actually give yourself the chance to write differently and maybe even more impactfully. So I'm not really focusing on ebooks here, but this is one I think I would say is probably worth your read, because it's kind of like going back and relearning the story. The Snowflake method. where you kind of spiral your way out to your story, or you get into the concept and you continue to improve on that until you end up with a book. This is not really that, but it's starting from the end and working your way to the beginning, starting with the back cover. And if you look carefully, there's a lot of snowflake method in this, because you're basing it again on the premise, which is really not the backwards way of doing it. It's just the sensible way of doing it. But she's also showing you how to speed it up. So anyway, I think it's worth it to look at how people do things differently, because it might work for you, and it just breaks up the monotony of doing it the same way over and over. Millionaire Author Challenge. Learn to manifest your millionaire author destiny in 4 days. I guess, again, I don't want to blow through these things, but you don't know you're going to become a millionaire. And there looks like there's a lot of mindset in this one. In fact, I think that's exactly what this is. I think this is a mindset type course. If you need mindset type challenges, go for it. They don't work for me, so I'm cynical, but if it works for you, great. Not for me though. All right, Masterclass, create your sizzling author profile. Attract readers like bees to honey with soon-worthy dating profile. Oh yeah, okay. So I like this one because again, it's a new approach to doing a thing that we're supposed to do anyway. So in this particular case, this is about building your author profile. Author profile is a big deal. It develops your personality. It gives readers a chance to be attracted to your brand or even to you. I like her approach. Again, I think I've heard of her. I'm not sure, but her approach I think is really interesting, because it reinvents the wheel on how you approach your persona and how you get readers interested, not just in what you write, but in you in particular, so that they come back no matter what you teach or no matter what you write. So just the overview here. Attract readers like, oh, we did that. Let's face it, there's a ton of competition to get your book bought and read. Conducted by USA Today and Wall Street Journal bestselling author Donna Kozik. You'll learn how to position your book in writing and images to attract readers like bees to honey. Includes templates and instructions to create a compelling dating profile for your book that will make readers line up to buy it. A fun video masterclass, a little black playbook. Turn up the volume on your book's appeal. Donna Kozik's masterclass. It doesn't really give you a lot of information from this snapshot. So I like the concept behind it. Whether or not it'll actually work, I guess you just have to try it. But this is something. If I were to buy the bundle, this is one of the ones I'd want to watch. And I try to, with these things, I try to be honest about which ones I would use. I think this is one of the ones I would use. Because I like the concept. I would certainly want to try it. Will it work for me? Again, who knows? We can't promise anything. But I think it's something that if I were trying it, I would be interested in the results. Oh, good. They fixed this picture. They put somebody else's face on here last time I checked. This is a 21-day best-selling author by platform by Derek Murphy. So he's giving you his platform or his method for creating a best-selling book and platform. Most authors think marketing means giving up valuable writing time, advertising your book to strangers. But there's a better way by attracting the right readers to you naturally and building a system that sells your books on autopilot. This is a pretty general standard path to publication, I think, for the marketing point of view, because you're writing sales copy or setting up your website. So this would be the complement to the courses on how to write a book. This is the course on how to sell your book. So the thing with Derek Murphy, he's been around a long time. He's funny because he's very self-deprecating. If I subscribe to both of his newsletters for marketing and for fiction, I don't read the types of books he writes. I'm not actually sure why I'm subscribed to his ebook newsletter, but his course newsletter. It's funny because he's the kind of guy where I think he has good ideas. He gets started and then he's like kind of he's like the epitome of imposter syndrome, where he's good at what he does. He really is good at what he does. But he's always like kind of self-doubting. If you're watching his course, just get past that. He actually knows what he's talking about. He's pretty good at it. But it's funny because he talks like he doesn't know whether or not he's going to help you. Just ignore all that. He is helpful. Um, so I would say this course is probably, again, it's cheap anyway, but I'm sure you're going to get a lot of info out of it that's useful information. If you're a beginner, you don't know where to start, yes, you can probably watch this course and have a clue what to do next. It's again, he's been around a long time. He's traditionally he's a cover artist. That's where his strength is, but he's been doing the self-publishing circuit for long enough that he's learned the tips on how to do this properly. Regardless of how he sells it, he's going to teach you something useful. So I would say this is another one where you want to just go ahead and give it a look. You'll probably learn some good things out of it. Writing the continuing series. So this is just, this is a really good thing to go with because the money's in the series. It's not in the standalone. If you're not sure how to write a series, this is supposed to teach you how to do that. Again, I don't know anything about the author, but the point is, it doesn't even matter. If she knows what she's talking about, then you're going to want to go through this because a series, whether you're doing a trilogy or an ongoing, this is what readers really come back for. Even if you're a genre writer, never mind how hard it is to sell a multi-genre, standalone series. I mean, you're not going to really make a market out of that. If you're a genre writer who does standalones, you'll do okay, I imagine, if you can sell your author brand, but your money's going to be in the series. And so I definitely would say if you have a series and you write it, and this will teach you how to do it. Author archetypes. Uncover your author archetype to break through imposter syndrome and discover the best way to write your book. Uncover your archetype. Strengths as a nonfiction author. Structure your book's content. So this looks like it's mainly for nonfiction. Derek Depker, I've had him on my I've been on his email list for a very long time. He has, I would say if you can get on his email list, do it, because he gives you a lot of great advice in email. It's usually short, and he does these challenges that I just did a couple this past couple of weeks. They're really good. I would say anything that he's doing is going to be worth your money. So the fact that this is part of the bundle, I don't even know what this is, but it'll be worth it because I think Derek Depker does really good stuff. If not, it's a little low tech. His stuff is definitely low tech, but it's good information, good challenges. Whatever this is, if this is your field that you're trying to break into, I would say that itself will be worth it. Revision hell, polishing your manuscript for profit. Perfect your manuscript and have it ready to sell in just 2 weeks. That sounds unrealistic, but let's hear her out. Get the insight you need to polish your book to perfection with a former editor and multi-publish who takes you through the revision process to prepare your book for self-publication and submission to agents. Designed for all levels of writers who are interested in learning new ways to improve their work. You'll go deep into the craft of writing, so you'll come away with a better understanding of what makes a best-selling manuscript and what doesn't. I like this last piece here because you don't want to start a book that you can't sell. That's stupid. Let's just be honest. It doesn't matter if you're inspired to write this epic novel about a snail that found tree lint and made a baby out of it. That's just weird and gross, and who's gonna read that? Nobody. So this is a good principle to follow. Like how do you start well, but then what do you do once you finish? So again, like I said with the editing, the course way back up top, anything that teaches you how to edit, revise, whatever is worth it, especially if you don't know how to do it or do it well. So again, $129 course for a lifetime at $49. To me, it's worth it. Hopefully she's a good teacher. All right. Wow, there's a lot of lifetime. I thought that there were fewer lifetime than this. So I feel like I've been talking all day, and we're only halfway down. I hope you're still watching this. We are getting into the limited courses here shortly, so bear in mind I did not expect to be on the courses for this long, but when do I ever do what I expect? Pre-sell your first 100 copies of your book before it's published. 5-week course to activate your audience. Sell more books and guarantee profitable book. So what this is basically, if you haven't actually published your book yet, you need to get a foundation of readers behind you so that you can not only sell it, but get your reviewers too. So that's sort of what this is trying to show you how to get your book sold before you even release it. So that you can beat the algorithms and actually stay a bestseller. That's sort of the principle behind this. It's always easier said than done. You have to do the hard work. Whatever they teach you to do, you got to just do it. There's no easy solution to any of this, and there's no quick solution to any of this. But if you can make it work, it definitely has a long-lasting effect. And that's sort of the point of what they're teaching here is, do the hard work, get the long-term effect, and if you can, do it well, then it'll pay off. I don't know who this guy is, but again, I think the running theme here is it doesn't matter who they are, because if they're practicing the tips that have worked and that have the others have made work, then you're probably pretty good at doing this. So bear that in mind. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the end of the lifetime access products. Now we're into the limited time products. This is the part I was wanting to get to, because this is where you have to actually prioritize. If you only have a book or have a course for 12 months, then you better use it soon. Okay, this is a coupon for LitRing's BookBub Builder promotion. Grow your followers on BookBub with LitRing's BookBub Builder. Discover a great way to grow your following on BookBub with LitRing's help. During your promo, your author profile will go out to thousands of readers that can connect with you, plus get long-term visibility that goes well beyond a week-long promo. BookBub offers many great marketing tools for authors, and the more followers you have there, the better visibility you will have for your pre-order and new release alerts. What are you waiting for? So what this does is it gives you a 10-day long giveaway, promotion on litring.com, which is extra from BookBub. There's social media promotion, all of LitRing accounts, inclusion of LitRing emails, customized giveaway graphics to keep for you to keep, plus additional promotion through content sites, an author profile on LitRing. So I'm not actually clear on how that works. I mean, clearly you're going to be on LitRing's ecosystem. Are they any good? Again, I don't know. Let's. I would say look up. I have a whole bunch of tabs open of things I want to look into, but LitRing was not one of them. So go ahead and let's just take a quick look at what this is. Oh, I can't. Oh man, I can't. Never. Oh, the resources are getting drained. That's why things are having a hard time here. Let's just take a quick look here of what this is. Actually, while that's loading up, we'll take a peek at the next thing. Or, oh, no, never mind. It's already open. Okay. It's not like my website. It takes pretty quick. All right, so this is LitRing. This is where you're getting your promotion. You can get your face on there, get your book on there. Sorry for the imaging if you're in a work environment. Yeah, all right. It looks like you're, I don't know what the readership is, but it's extra promotion is what it looks like. And maybe, is it BookBub style, or do you actually go on BookBub? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what this is. You get promotion through this site. You can take a look at it on your own time. Might be good. I don't know. I've never heard of it, so I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's popular. There's enough people on there. I don't know. Give it a try. Can't comment on it. I haven't tried it. I don't even know if it's something you can keep going back to, or if it's like a one-time thing. It's not clear to me either. But I would say if you have a book you're ready to promote, give it a try, and then leave a comment if you've made it work. All right, how to write another self-publish your own print book and ebook on Amazon. Yeah, I guess that's good if you don't know how to do that. You can get plenty of free resources, so even if this one runs out, you're not lost. But you have 12 months to learn how to make it work. I would say if you're not ready to print your book in the next 12 months, don't worry about it. There's going to be other things to come along that will teach you how to do it. But if you have the time, go ahead and go through it, because it's limited time. Book marketing tips for the busy authorpreneur workshop. So this tells you just some marketing tips. The 2 most common steps authors miss in promoting a book that creates big losses in sales. Probably having to do with something with your author bio or something, I imagine. Tools and resources that will help you save time and money, and then of course proven marketing strategies to build visibility for your book and yield optimal results for your business. It's 12 months. Give it a look. 50% off. Okay, this is a coupon to give you to save you money off of book design. So this is one of the ones I actually wanted to look at because I want to see what kinds of book designs they're giving you. So let's do another open tab real quick. And let's take a look at some of their covers that they are offering. Now, the way this works is they usually pre-design it and then you buy it. So like if you go to the pre-made covers here, that's where I would like to actually look. We'll go into the thriller crime since that's my genre. So these are the books that these are the designs that they make. What they typically do is they'll usually give you the template, but you can update the title. So like you don't have to call yourself John Doe and sell your book called Eagle Eye. Like you can change it to your name and then change the title to your title. Typically the way these work is once you buy it, they retire them. I imagine that's how it works here too. In other words, you don't have to worry about someone else using the same exact design for their book because you're buying a single-use template, and once you claim it, no one else can. So that's what I like about these. If you see a template that really works for you, just buy it. And the thing is, if you're getting a coupon 50% off for one of the $100 ones, then again, people I'm pretty sure will actually pay attention to these kinds of images. So I wouldn't pay $49 just to get this coupon because the coupon is worth $50. If you do the math, you realize that's stupid. But if you have something else that you want, this is a bonus. And so if you are in a position where you're trying to sell a book and you're not sure whether or not you want this cover with this hairy dude and this neon light, you can say, hey, rocking book covers, give me that cover with the hairy dude and the neon light, and my title is going to be called Hairy Dude with a Neon Light, and then my name's not Jane, but you can do that. Maybe you want the one with the empty chair. This one actually seems pretty easy to do yourself, but I don't know, if you see something in here that you want, you claim it and then you buy it, and then they take it off the list. And if you don't see anything you want, then you go into custom. So just a quick, again, I wanted to spend a little extra time here as I want you guys to see what their reputation looks like. These are some of the ones they've done already. I don't know, are these, let's see. It doesn't say whether or not they've been used yet, but I think they're high quality. These are the kinds of books that people buy, based on the covers, and obviously the book has to be good, but if you, let's see, I'm thinking I saw this cover before, but this one's cool. Look at this. If you're doing a cyberpunk thriller, this would get my attention. It just did, clearly. Or this one too is pretty good if you're into a psychological thriller. The thing is, they know their genre. They know what the genre covers should look like. I don't know. I'm impressed. I'm literally legit impressed with this, and it's not that expensive. If you know anything about getting book covers, typically it's going to cost you about $300 or more to get a quality book cover. You're getting these for $100 or less, typically. Maybe not for everything, but for a lot of them. And it's worth, if you have a little extra cash, it's worth getting a high quality cover that you don't have to design yourself. That's already ready to go for a very low price. I don't know. Do it. It's good. Anyway, that's enough. I'm going to close this one out. I'll end this one too. We're coming back to this here in a minute, but to me, again, I think it's worth it just for that alone. Saving $70. Yeah, pretty good. All right, let's move on. Adapting your book into a streaming TV series or webinar. This is where, okay, so this is a little bit of a mixed bag. This is where if you can master streaming television, script writing, that's a really marketable skill right now. It's a masterclass. I definitely say this is going to be worth it if you have that desire to break into series television. You do need to be committed to the writing process. You need to be committed to craft, and you only got 12 months to do this. So this is a very hard course, I think, to have for just 12 months. This is the kind of course I wish would be available for a lifetime, because I think TV series is going to be around for a while. But here's the kicker. It's still going to be a hard industry to break into no matter what you do. So unless you've got the budget to do your own filming, this is one of those mixed bag courses where I think it's definitely worth going through to learn it, but whether you can do it is going to be a completely different story, especially if you only got it for 12 months. So I would say go through it, take good notes, put it to practice, but be realistic about your chances. You gotta. This is where I would say, the money's good. Is it worth your time? Be realistic. Be realistic. For most people, it won't be. But here's where we have a little bit of a caveat. There's you're not limited to just television. There's serial writing. If you do anything with Kindle Vella, these will be good tips just for Kindle Vella. It's good tips for Wattpad. You can still make it work even if you can't turn it into a television series. You can still turn it into a book series. The principles are all there. But this is where the money is right now as far as entertainment goes. And if you can do this, you're in good shape. So, but again, be realistic about your chances of breaking in. It's much harder than self-publishing an ebook. All right. Write your book in 100 days. Stop mucking about it and write it. This is just a motivational course, clearly. This is one of those ones where I think it's the 12-month access is fine, because the whole point is do it fast. You don't need if you have to wait around a lifetime to write in 100 days, you're doing it wrong. So I'm not even gonna explain that. So next we have the Create Better Characters, a Coaching Masterclass. Again, if you can create good characters, certainly do that. Characters are hard, though. I don't know if one masterclass is going to be good enough to really learn how to do this. So I would say if you can get extra coursework or buy books on how to write good characters, you're going to probably use it to supplement this one. But again, 12 months, that should be enough time to learn how to do it, but it is not going to be enough time to retain it. Because if you want to go back and rewatch it, a year from now, you're out of luck. Fortunately, it's only $25. So the thing with these types of courses, I took one. Kristen Lamb's got a series of courses that she does that I think are excellent, but they're also on demand, which means you pay $25 or $50, and you really only got them for a couple of weeks, and then they expire. But the thing is, they're so thorough. If you take good notes and if you save the slideshows, then you don't really have to rewatch the seminars, because the principles that they teach, they'll stay with you. So if this is the kind of course that will stay with you, then, and if you are good at taking notes, then you don't really need to access it a year from now. You should be fine. As long as you practice it, it'll stick. But either way, these $25 master classes, they're seductive in that you think that you're going to get a low value, and you're actually not. Some of these are really good. So I'm going to go on the fence here and say she's probably really good at this. I don't know who this is, but $25 master classes, they're not throwaway. The ones I've experienced, this is what I think they understand that they're valuable, so they price them to make sure everybody can get to them. But anyway, again, you're getting it with the bundle, so it doesn't matter. 3 steps to achieving your author goals training. Reach author success with your own set of inspiring, achievable, and actionable goals. As a hard-working author, you want your book to be a success, right? But finding success starts with setting inspiring, achievable, and actionable goals. So that tells you how to do it. You can get with a workbook. So the workbook you'll be able to keep forever, I'm sure. It's just the class itself is for 12 months. But again, it's fairly low price. I'm sure it'll come back next year, or a version of it. So it'll be fine. Anyway, okay, so that's the end of the courses. Now we're into the really good stuff. I know it took probably, I don't know how long we've been doing this for. This is stuff I've been waiting to get to. because this is stuff where I think you're going to really make the most benefit. So we're now into the tools section of the software. All the tools are limited time, and then the other thing you remember is that if you don't cancel them, they'll charge you the full price come around the next cycle. So do pay attention to how long you have access to these tools. Now, the Novel Factory, you're going to get a full year access for free with this bundle. And the thing is, here's a little pro tip. Novel Factory is one of those tools that I think comes back to the bundle. I've seen it in so many places that I don't know if you'll ever really have to pay for it full price. I'm not sure how that works. Now, I don't know if there's like a thing that allows you like a one-time redemption, no matter how many stacks you get. I'm not clear on that, but I know that Novel Factory has been in other bundles, and it's also one of the NaNoWriMo package deals. Although I don't know if you get it for 12 months. I think it's usually 3 months when it's NaNoWriMo. But the point is this is one of those tools where it's always in something. You probably could leverage your coupons in order to keep it indefinitely. But I don't want to claim that for sure. I'm just stating that I've seen it around more than once. So this is a Novel Factory here, and essentially it's a platform that helps you develop your ideas, and it gives you a way to structure your characters, your outlines, and all that. What I'm going to do, because this video is running longer than I expected to, I really expected to go kind of blaze through the courses and then spend more time on the software tools, but that's clearly not the way it's going. So I think what I want to do is I want to put a link to all of the software tools in the description below, and then you can go check them out for yourself and really explore them. But the main thing here with the Novel Factory is you do have a dedicated section for your characters. The thing that this prides itself on is it actually gives you a mini course on how to write a novel. Now, again, you have plenty of courses already part of this bundle. It's going to teach you how to do that, so you don't really need the Novel Factory mini course in order to learn how to write well, but you can, and that's the point. If you're coming at this blind, and this is the tool you want in order to go from not knowing a clue what you're doing to having some clue. So that's the main selling point for Novel Factory, is the hand-holding. But even then, once you get through there, there's a place where you can develop your ideas. And so you follow the templates, go through the character designer, and then of course when you write it, you can, this is always my favorite part of any app, is the statistics. I love statistics, I love charts, I love knowing how my book breaks down, and this tool gives you all of that natively. That's pretty freaking cool. So if you love data as much as I do, then this tool is definitely something you're going to want to look into, especially since you have it for an entire year for free. And if they come back next year, I mean, who knows? Maybe you can do it again. This is your editing tool. This is very similar to Plotter. If you're familiar with Plotter, you'll see that this kind of works in a similar way. There is a different tool called Plot Factory that goes even more in depth with that type of programming, but I think Plot Factory is the more advanced tool to Novel. I think Novel Factory, I want to say, is this sort of more rudimentary version, but because Plot Factory is not part of this deal, I'm not going to cover it today. But the idea is you can still make a quality book out of this platform. So anyway, I'll leave a link below, and you can dig into it a little bit more. But it's for a month or for a full year free. I mean, why not try it? I'm not committed to doing this Infostack, but if I do, I will definitely do a review on this, because I definitely would be interested in seeing how it goes. But again, if you're still watching, I can't promise that, because I don't know that I'm going to buy this. I've already overspent my budget on everything else. So even another $50, I don't want to do that right now if I can help it. But the reason why I still might is, again, there's some things in here that I feel like would be worth going through. So I assure you that if I do end up getting this bundle, I will do some follow-up videos on some of the things that I've subscribed to. So, if you're still watching, I don't know if you're still watching at this point. Anyway, the next thing here is the Nerdly for authors. So if you're not familiar with Nerdly, this is one of Nick Stephenson's tools. This is actually the evolution up from AuthorCats, if you're familiar with AuthorCats. It's a web template It's designed for authors to just give a really nice business card for readers. It's efficient, it loads fast, it's a good way to link your author page to your storefront and all of that. Nerdly goes one step further, and actually it has a full e-commerce section. So let's take a quick look. You'll notice that it's 6 months access for, you're getting a $250 off coupon. It's normally $500 a year is what they're basically saying. I think, is that how much it cost? So that's actually a really good deal if you have people visiting your site. But you can see in the snapshot how nice it looks. But I actually want to take a look at it in depth here. When I say in depth, I don't mean like spend the next 30 minutes on it. I mean, let's just take a quick look at what this is. If you've followed my channel, you know that building a website or an author website from scratch kind of sucks, because you have to not only make it attractive to readers, but you have to make it load fast. You got to make it efficient. I have the bad habit of wanting more than what my service can provide, so I often try to push the limits on what my service can do. The thing with Nerdly is designed by engineers and Nick Stevenson himself in order to optimize your site in a way that really makes it work to your advantage. You'll notice that it's also not just for authors, but also course creators and store owners and all that. So it's really an all-purpose site for audiences. I highly recommend this if you can afford it. Even with the coupon, it's still going to be $250 because it's a $500 a year product. It's expensive. But again, if you got people visiting your site, the thing that's nice about this is it looks really good. And so if you look at some of their templates, this is kind of why I came here, is I wanted to take a look at some of these templates. If you preview the Sierra template, for example, which we're going to do now, this is what the landing page looks like. When you go down, you can get an author video profile. You'll notice how quickly it loaded. That's important. If you're an entrepreneur or business, whatever, you can turn this into a business site. Of course, you have a place where you can go into new pages and all that. But anyway, the point is, you'll notice it's nice, it's efficient, it's clean. It doesn't overdo things. There's a place for your blog, your about page, contact, and all that. So if this is something that looks nice to you, then I would consider it. Now, again, the caveat is there's plenty of theme builders you can get for the same price for a lifetime. If you have any sense of how to design a website, you don't need this. But if you are the kind of person who wants to just focus on your books and have no concern at all with your web development, Nerdly is a great thing to have, because I think that the Nerdly engineers keeps up with the maintenance, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think you ever have to really worry about what your site's doing, because I think that's one of their jobs, is to keep up with it for you. So I don't think you're paying just for the template. I think you're paying for the service and the hosting. I think I'm not sure if you're getting your hosting also, but it's anyway. Definitely worth the money if you have an audience coming in. If you have no audience, it's a little expensive. Or if you want to do it yourself, then it's not worth it at all. But if you want nothing to do with designing your own author website, then this alone I think is definitely worth it for you. So keep that in mind. All right, so Scribify, we just got a preview of it. I actually subscribed to this years ago. I don't really use it much. But what the Scribify is it's a feedback service. What you do is you upload a story, you get feedback. In order to get feedback, you have to give other people feedback. So it's sort of a give and take platform. You'll see that it goes by points. There is a free version of this, but the free version is very limited. I think the free version is what I have. But see, again, I have never bought it because I just don't use it. I think one of the problems we have as authors is we're so busy writing that we don't really want to make the time to critique other people's writing. Like, we have to read other work in order to get good, but it gets really difficult to make the time to not only write our own work, but to critique other writers' works without having our own biases. Or, let's be honest, if we're not that good at craft, how are we going to be good at critiquing it? So this is one of those things where I would say you should definitely give it a try. because it's a good way to learn whether or not you're doing well yourself. It's a good, when you critique other people's writing, you also end up critiquing your own. So it's one of those things where if you don't mind spending $10 a month, and you're going to keep up with it, I think you're going to really get some good work out of this. But it's one of the higher tier services that have this style. There's also Fiction Press, which is free, but I think it's the platform is a little jankier. It's not as personable. It's a little tougher to use. This one is just a nice design. Because it's premium, the people are going to actually do the work. They're going to be more reliable. So that's really the selling point with Scribify, is you're going to get a much higher reliability out of it because people are paying for it. I don't know. I was impressed with it. The little bit that I used it, I was impressed with it. I didn't keep up with it because at the time I didn't really have the money to spend for something I wasn't going to use very much. But take a look at it. You might enjoy it. You might. The reason why I typically recommend these types of services is my favorite author, Max Berry, got his start doing this. The book Stir Up, which is my favorite book of all time. He originally workshopped in one of these types of forums. I think his wasn't this. I think it was an old one that I don't think is around anymore. I actually don't remember what it's called anymore. But yeah, these are, if you're just starting out, or even if you've been around for a while but you just want additional feedback, you can get a lot out of it by taking advantage of it. So anyway, it's not expensive. It's like I said, $10. No, it's not even. It's $9 a month. Or no, it's $11 a month. If you do the math, it's $11 a month. It used to be $9, so I guess it goes up a little bit. But again, I subscribed to it many years ago. Alex Cabal, he sends me birthday emails every year. So if you subscribe to his mailing list, expect to get a birthday greeting on your birthday, which is nice. It's a nice touch. All right, I did not open a tab for this one, but this is a coaching service. Beth Barani, again, she's a legend in the independent author hemisphere. Whatever she's doing is going to be worth it. So I'm not even going to comment on it. It's just, other than that, you'll get your money's worth, which is to say, you're getting a free commenting. What I don't know, again, is if this is a one-time deal or if this is redeemable. Typically with coaching, I think these are one-time shots, but you have 6 month access. So I don't know if it's like you have 6 months in order to access it one time. I have no idea, but whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be good. All right, so Dabble. Actually, hold on. I'm not want to skip. Let's ask the pertinent question. Do you need coaching? That's going to be subjected to your needs. But the thing with coaches is that what they're going to do is they're going to actually look at your current system and tell you whether or not you're on the right track. And you can probably tell whether you're on the right track by whether or not you're getting the results you want. But what they're going to do typically is also help you determine how to get back on track if you're off. And so that's really the advantage of it. Rather than going through a course where you have to sort of identify your issues and apply the course concepts to whatever you're dealing with, these people will actually tell you flat out, based off of what they can observe through your own tactics and things. So they can help you come up with a plan and that will work for you. So that's really the advantage of coaching. They're experts in the field. That's the other advantage, is they're not hacks. Beth Barani is not a hack. She's been at this for a long, long time. She knows what she's talking about, and she'll give you some good advice. But the fact that you have one-on-one with her is, again, this is a good deal if you use it. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so Dabble. Dabble is one of those products I've been wanting to review for a long freaking time, and the thing is, I haven't done it because, again, I know I'm not going to use it. This is one of those things where, like, I want to review it for your sake, not mine. But that said, Dabble is one of those tools where if you hate Scrivener, but you like the concept behind Scrivener, then Dabble is your tool. Dabble is basically, it's a simplified Scrivener where it's distraction-free writing, but it gives you an opportunity to really investigate your story, to write it well, to have backup writing and all that. You have a place to plan your work. It's a simplified tool, but it's not overly simplified. And it looks like they've been adding to it. Last time I looked into this, it was much more simple than even this. So it does look like they're trying to really update this tool into something that's all-purpose. If you've been keeping up on my channel, you'll know that I'm a big fan of a tool called Atticus, which is not on here. Atticus is trying to be the next big all-purpose system. Dabble is primarily writing based, but it does a lot of what I think Atticus is going to eventually want to do. But Atticus doesn't do all of this yet, and so if you're for the next, was it 6 months? Is that how long you have this for? 3 months. For the next 3 months, you can get a really good testing out of this. Really make good use of it. If you decide that you want to keep it, the pricing is reasonable. Most of these have reasonable pricing. But you have $15 a month for the standard standard tool. You get plot grid, story notes. You get a lot of good stuff. You're getting so basically the way it works is you're getting all of this plus this, and then if you go into premium, then you get everything here and here plus the co-authoring ability. At $20 a month, that's still reasonable, and that's just for monthly. If you go annually, it becomes $16 a month. For most people, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, especially if you don't have other tools. So again, the question becomes, why do you need this? Well, you don't need it because again, you can get Scrivener for one-time cost, and you can certainly write a quality piece of work. You can write a quality piece of work in Microsoft Word, but the difference is it's more specialized. It's more designed for writers. It's more of an authoring platform. What does that mean? Psychologically, it just feels better to write in a platform like this. And so, if you want something that's really tailored for your process, you might find something here that works for you. I'm trying to find a good page that actually shows you. Oh, go to writing resources here. You get a blog here. Basically, if you want an ecosystem that's going to help you continue to write and finish your stories, Dabble, it's one of those products that I do think it's gaining traction. I think at some point it's going to be a major player in the industry. I don't know when, because again, it's I think it's always been trying to gain a little bit of momentum, and it's always behind Scrivener. No one really talks about it that much. But I don't know. It's one of those ones I hope does better than it's been doing. But I think it's on its way to doing better. This is a good opportunity for you to test it out, I guess is my point. And certainly I'll have the link below so you can see for yourself if it's something that you want. But for $16 a year, or $16 per month by the annual plan, or $20 monthly, why not check it out? Dabble. Anyway, one of these days I do hope to actually look into it and give it more of a better chance of to explore it, but I know I'm not going to buy it myself, so that's why I've been putting it off, especially since Atticus now does a lot of this. Alright, anyway, but that's Dabble. It's upcoming. So Campfire, I've done videos on that before. It's called Campfire Writing now. You're getting 3 months for this, and it looks like you're getting the entire suite for 3 months. Typically, what you're getting with Campfire is a module-based system. Come on. I think you get all the modules for 3 months free, if I'm not mistaken. Typically, you buy each module is $1 a month. So if you're getting, what's the math? Was that 12 modules for 3 months each? I think that's how it breaks down. You don't really need the coupon for this. I mean, Campfire is one of those tools where you either know you want it or you don't. If you are an epic writer, if you are a game designer, that's story based, this is an essential tool. This isn't even like a matter of, well, it might be nice if no. If you write Game of Thrones style fiction, if you write Lord of the Rings style fiction, or if you write RPGs, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or a video game, whatever the case may be, it does not matter. This is your essential tool, because this does story Bibles, this does languages, it does history, it does religions, it does icons, it does everything. I've done plenty of videos on Campfire. You can go back and watch those. I don't really need to do it again here. But you'll see that all these bits here, these are all modules that you can add to your hierarchy of tools. And what you do is you build out graphical designs here. So let me see. If we go to novelists, since most of us are going to be here for writing novels, if we're not writing nonfiction, you'll see here's an example of a character sheet. This is all module based, so you're not committed to this design. You actually have to create the cards, and then you're going to lay them out on your table in order to look like this. You can draw connections as an example. It's a very thorough system. It's one of those ones where it's gained popularity over the years. This is what the stats are right now. I mean, it's becoming a really major tool in the writing hemisphere. This is what your typical module pricing is. It's depending on what your module is, it's going to depend on how much you're going to pay for it. But they do have, I think they have lifetime deals, or they used to. I don't know if they still do. Let's take a look. Let's see here. I don't know if they do lifetime anymore, actually. Let me see. Yes, they do still do lifetime. Okay. So if you do the lifetime deal, this is how much you're going to spend for the one-time purchase. And this, once you do that, you get to keep it forever. It all comes down to about $300 for everything. And so if you're willing to spend about $300, you can get all this to keep for a lifetime. And you'll see some of the systems that you'll be able to build on. Again, if I did more epic style writing, I would definitely have this in my tool base. Because my books are a little simpler than that, I don't really need all of this. But I do have my superhero epic that is a little more advanced. And so this is the one thing I would actually consider having Campfire for, would be my superhero epic. But then it's so much in my head that I don't think I really would do that. But you know your needs. If you're a romance writer, you are not going to be using this, except for you might buy the character module, you might buy the relationships module. That would be probably the only thing. You definitely wouldn't need species. I hope you wouldn't need species for a romance. But no judgment if you do, but hopefully you don't. Basically though, regardless of what type of writing you're doing, there's going to be something here for you. Now, the coupon will not give you the lifetime. I would say you don't need Infostack's Write, Publish, Profit for Campfire. Campfire is one of those tools I would say just buy it anyway if you know you need it, whether you have a coupon or not. I've been saying that since the beginning. I say it now. But if you're not sure, this is a good time to decide if you do need it. Per Writing Aid, this is the tool for people who want to check their grammar and their style guide. I have the lifetime version. So again, this is one of those things where I would just advise you, buy the lifetime during one of the Christmas sales. It's absolutely worth having, especially if you're not a frequent editor. Like I only edit my books when I'm ready to publish them, which means I'm going to use Per Writing Aid maybe once every 6 months. So for me, having 3 months subscription to something I'm not going to use for another 6 months is not worth it at all. But I think Per Writing Aid as a tool is absolutely 100% worth having, and you should definitely, if you're a writer and you take your craft at any level of seriousness, you need to just buy the program, buy the lifetime. Don't wait for a freaking annual or monthly subscription. Buy the lifetime. It is there. It's there for you. It's typically $250 for a lifetime, which again, my opinion is that it's worth even that. Let's see. I hope you can still buy it for a lifetime. Can you still buy it for a lifetime? You used to be able to buy it for a lifetime. Let me see if there's a pricing page that's more official. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let's just take a quick look here. If I go into the sale, yeah, you can still get lifetime. $500 is a lot of money, but you're paying for the plagiarism checks here too. So you don't really need that package. This is your better package. This one, you're going to get the desktop version. I think mine, I only get 5 plagiarism checks, but I got a new tool that gives me unlimited. Just it's about the size rather than the number. Yeah, so this is the one I think I have. It's when you get the if you wait till the holidays, you can get this for half price, so $200. I bought mine for $120, so that's back when it was only $250. But anyway, point being, this is one of those tools you should just have. There's no reason not to have it. I'm not gonna give you the merits on why. You'll figure it out once you get it. Just get it. All right, 20% off 1 hour mini consultation. Just another course or another coaching session. I don't review those. Inspired. Okay, so 2-month premium or subscription for Inspired. What this does is, this is interesting. There's not very many things on the market that does this. So this is one of those ones where I'm interested in doing the stack for this particular program, because what this does is this does a social media campaign. I believe it does. It's kind of like with there was a tool I found a while back where you I think you can tweet your story. I'm not sure if that's what this is, honestly. Yeah, create and write new interactive fiction and publish your creative stories and book series anytime. Engage and get direct feedback from your audience. Okay, so it's like a mini Wattpad is what I think this is, but it's you can gauge your metrics, you can protect your intellectual property, you have narrative world building. So it looks like it's a more advanced Wattpad is what I'm guessing. That's what I think this is. Now, again, I haven't fully investigated this, but it has its own ecosystem here. It looks like there's a lot of looks like a lot of YA readers here, so it's good for the YA market. If you're a YA writer, you should probably use this. Let's see here what we're looking at. So yeah, so this is a place where you can go to actually look at some stories here. That's not practical. Hold on. Let's look at humor. If I click on humor, what's going to happen? All right. So yeah. So it gives you some books you can read. So what I think this is, I think as a reader, you probably can look at it for free. But I think as a writer, I think you pay for participation. But then you get to, what is this? Oh, that's weird. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to review that. I don't know what that is. I had plans on looking into that, and now I just saw this really weird thing on Neuriax or what? Hold on. Let's go back. What is this? That's not a story. It's a spam trap. What am I reading here? You know what? I don't know if this is worth it, honestly. How much are you saving for this? $200 for 2-month access. I think that's I believe it's like $20 a month. I think the pricing is a little skewed there, but I don't know how to open the pricing. This is a very weird site. I'm not actually sure how to do anything on here. Hold on. So I think the splash page is really nice, but then you go inside and then it gets weird. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to even read this site. I'm going to put the link below because I have all my tabs open, but so you can definitely explore it and see if you can make sense of it. But I'm not going to spend my entire video. I'm already probably at 2 hours long on this thing. So let's just go near the end here. It's the story guide author. This is one I had my eye on for during the last Infostack, and I have my eye on it this time too. I don't love this 1-month access thing. I feel like that's not long enough to really make good use of anything. And I think the last stack had a longer period. This is deceptive. You're not going to pay $280 a month. That's crazy. I think it's $29 a month, I think is what you're actually paying for. I'm just going to jump right to pricing so you have a realistic perspective of what this is. Yeah, it's $29 a month, billed monthly. I like monthly plans because you can cancel anytime and not have to pay this gigantic upfront thing. what you can do here is, I think the 280 they're referring to is this custom plan. This is where this is what I would do, honestly, because this is like you buy it once, you keep it forever. And you know me, by now I hope that I hate subscriptions of any kind. I'd rather spend a big chunk on a lifetime, and hopefully it'll be good. You notice that you get all of this plus this, and you're paying one time. I believe you are. I don't think this is an add-on. I hope this is not an add-on. This might be an add-on, though, now that I think about it. I'm not sure what this is. This is where I read the FAQs to find out. But if you can pay this and get all of this forever, then this, whatever this is worth all of this. Because if you look at what you're getting here, what you're getting is you're getting a planner. You're getting... basically, it's like a management tool is what I believe this is here. Let's go back to what the features are. This is not a book production site. This is, I don't think it is. But what it is it's an opportunity for you to track what your marketing campaigns are like. Actually, I probably wouldn't do this because I just bought another tool for much cheaper. Off of an AppSumo deal, it does a lot of this stuff. I think what I think you're buying is the template, really. But what's good about this is you can really see whether or not you have some good ROI on your campaign. It gives you a plan of action for your marketing events. Well, it gives you a realistic overview of whether you should even do something in marketing. This is, again, one of those things where I think if you have the time, research it, see if it's worth it. You may decide it's not. You do have video tutorials. I would probably recommend you watch these. I'm probably going to do that myself this week to see if it's something that I would want. Now, again, when you're doing this plan here, you're only getting 1 month access to the $280 plan. But I think I would hope that that's enough time to figure out if this is something that you're interested in. But watch the videos, see if you'll get anything out of it. But no, StoryAd's one of those things where if you care about marketing, you may want to give this a go. I certainly am interested in it. All right, so last thing we have here is the promotional package by Crave Books. So this is similar to what we had up with the what was that one? The one with all the erotica on there. I don't remember anymore. Was it Inks? I don't remember. Anyway, this is a promotional package similar to BookBub by Crave Books. Same deal. Buy their package, get promoted, make sales. The end. The difference here, you got to pay attention here. I think you can use this anytime, but you only get it once. So whereas most of these you have limited access to when you can do it, you have limited access to how many times. In which case it's one time, but it's worth $50. So it's a good way to sample whether or not it's something that's going to work for you. But again, promote your book to 1 million readers, rerun promotions with a click of a button. Although, do you have to pay extra for that? I don't know. Create customizable author landing pages and attract followers who will for your next book deal. I do think this is going to probably benefit series writers and genre writers a little bit more than multi-genre or standalone authors. But again, if you can get readers to your emailing list, then it's all worth it. So that's the whole thing. I don't know how long this video has been. I think it's officially longer than the last one. But if you need more questions, you can read the FAQs. My understanding is I think you do have a limited time on when to redeem this. When I was investigating this a year ago, I think there were some complaints from people who have used this service that they didn't realize that they had a limited time in order to access their tools. So you will want to make sure you read through the FAQs to make sure this is something you want to do. You are paying $50 to access these tools. But again, you're not keeping everything forever. You're only keeping some of the things forever. And once it goes away, it's gone. So do your due research on whether or not you have the time to open all of these things. So anyway, bear that in mind. And then if you do want the deal, you'll just click on the button here. It's going to take you to the page where you fill out your info. You'll see that it's got encryption protection on here, so you don't need to worry about your credit card getting hacked. It's all good. And then, of course, once you subscribe to it, they're going to, I'm sure, give you an email confirmation. And then I'm sure they'll give you a landing page where you can access all of your tools. That's typically how it works for most of these types of bundles. I don't see why it would be any different here. As I said, this is part of the Infostack promo site here. If you're not interested in Publish Profit, but you have other things down here that you're interested in, like the keto lifestyle or kidlit creators, make sure you click on one of these down here to find out what's coming so that you can find something that works for you. It's going to all be the same deal. You get courses, you get books, programs, all that crap, in order to maximize your educational reach and your practice and all that. So anyway, thank you for staying with it. This is another video that I thought would be an hour or less, and I don't think it turned out that way, but hopefully that gives you some good information on what's in the stack, why you should buy the stack if you're at all interested, the precautions you should go into before you make your decision, largely having to do with your time. What kind of time do you have to invest in the courses you're going to get from it. Even the writing tools, do you absolutely need all these writing tools? My answer will always be I don't think you do need them all, but you probably will want at least Dabble or Campfire. Probably maybe the Novel Factory if you need some hand-holding. If you don't mind critiquing other people's work, Scribfile would be good for you. And this is one of those ones I would probably keep beyond the promo if you have good use for it, because we all want feedback. But yeah, if you see any value here at all, $49 will get you all of this. For the lifetime courses, definitely spend the money. If the only things you want are the limited time deals, make sure that the $49 is going to be worth your investment, because again, you don't have forever to invest in those. If you see one thing on here that's worth $12 and that's all you want, then don't buy it. I hope it's all obvious, but I feel like it's probably required to at least make that mention. So anyway, that's Write, Publish, Profit 5.0, part of Infostack. It's here for only 4 days left. Then it goes away. It ends on June 14th if you're keeping score. The Infostack always brings the Write, Publish, Profit stack back every June. So if you miss this one, do come back for 6.0 next year. However, it'll be different deals. The software is often repeatable, but the courses usually are not. So if you see something here that you really, really want, this is the year to get it. So there you go. That's all. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you want to tell me your experience with any of these courses or books or tools. Remember that even though the deal is only good for 4 days more, a lot of these products are going to be around indefinitely. It's just that they're going to be around for more money. So if you want to share your feedback, other people may still benefit from knowing whether or not the course is worth the individual cost. So, definitely keep up with it. And then, let us know if you bought it and if you like it. If you want me to actually look into these things, let me know that too. I'm not going to do it for 40 viewers, but I might do it for 400. So share the video if you want me to actually look into this more in depth and get into some of the more extensive testing on some of these tools. So that's always helpful to know that. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for sticking around for an hour and a half or however long this was. And hopefully the next video will be shorter. So take care. Have a good day. Bye.